I know that you went to psychology college, right? How was this experience in your life?
Well, I began to be interested in people and behavior because I had a lot of phenomena, of paranormal phenomena with me. And, you know, spiritism in Brazil, I had an education as a psychic, so I had a large experience in channeling. But I decided to go to psychology, and I got my degree. And I became famous as a psychic in Brazil and in Europe and later in the United States. And because of that, I received a lot of invitations to go, when I finished my university, to go to the United States to paint with the psychic painting. You know,
because of the mediumship.
Yeah, because of the mediumship. So with that, opened all the doors for me in the area of psychology or parapsychology, and I was very well received. I have access to very interesting people in psychology, like Carl Rogers, Stanislav Grof, that is one of the founders of the transpersonal psychology.
Oh, I see.
They were interested in studying what was going on with me, or they want to share my experience. But also I was interested in what they knew about psychology or new waves of therapy. You know, what was going on really there. You know, in California. You know, California is the center of whatever new is happening. Exactly, you know, in America or in the world. So they had a lot of new schools of psychology, Gestalt therapy, psychosynthesis, a lot of new approaches to body work. And for me, at this time, it was very easy to get in touch with these people, the teachers, the studies, the researchers, you know, and so that this kind of contact allowed me to go deeper in what was going on new in psychology and psychotherapy. But I had a problem too, because they had a very restrictive view in your five senses, and I was more in my sixth sense.
I see.
At those times, they were in the beginning of talking with gurus, talking about new consciousness. Okay. You know, and the physics was open new doors. They understand what is consciousness.
Was physics, quantum physics, starting at this time, more or less at this time too?
Yes, it was really there. Everybody was talking about the new way of understanding matter, consciousness, and all the new ideas. And it was, for me, it was very nice because I could make some connections in my personal experiences, and also trying to have a frame to express myself, or also tools to work with people. In this particular point, I had to make a lot of research myself.
I see.
You know, and it was very confused for me at the time, because listen, you were psychic, you know about life after death, you have a communication with the entities or the discarnate entities, and also you have here the psychology with new ways of dealing in psychotherapy, but all still in the old, you know, square frame, you know.
Exactly.
And all that limits and the old way of thinking.
So when you took this issue concerning mediumship to all these people there in California, for instance, you were kind of breaking a paradigm somehow, right?
Yes. Because for centuries, the religious education there, and Protestant education, basically, were totally out of those things. Was a kind of devil thing, you know.
Yeah.
And even if they had a very good connection with the British, where in England they are very open to mediumship, you know, traditionally. And but even though they were in contact with the English culture, but they were very scared, very afraid, and But when I used to do my demonstration, I was painting, and it's beautiful. I used to do it for television, and I think because of that, they were not so scared. That was the beginning of the psychics, or the channelings, like they say there. The channeling, everybody was channeling. Everybody wanted to know what mediumship was. They were the beginning of getting open to spirits, life after death, and the communication with the spirits. And I think I had a very important role there, because it was in television. I was showing the phenomena that happens with me is really a true phenomenon, and also very, very beautiful and real, and with this the people get less scared and start to approach the subject. Also the scientists were more interested than the regular people. Yes, because they knew already that we have levels of consciousness. They want to study the special states of consciousness.
Right.
You know, and they made a lot of research with all that machine
in California.
And things like that in California. Yeah, in California. And Jeffrey Michelov is the first parapsychologist to be a parapsychologist, and officially a PhD in America, and he was very much my friend, and introduced me to a lot of the other researchers in the Washington Center Research, Noyetic Science Institute. And so that was very nice, because I could have a lot of conversation in certain level, metaphysical level, physical, metaphysical, psychological, discussing topics and things. And that for me was very good, very useful.
And there was a kind of experience that you wouldn't have perhaps here in Brazil, because at the time Brazil was completely closed for these things.
Brazilians are very much open to psychics, but in a very different way. They want to take certain advantage of it. They want some healing, they want some therapy, they want some help.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But always that in the background. You know. But when you are in front of the society, we don't talk about, you know.
Exactly.
We almost deny. They work very well intellectually in terms of practical research. And also, I believe that they in California, that passed through several revolutions, the sexual revolution, the human rights revolution, and all that process was going and growing and growing. And from that social revolution, they went to religious revolution. Spirituality became, you know, the word. You know, so everybody was talking about this or that, or studying the old traditions like Zen, like the Indian religions and everything. They open their culture for all that knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah, because they discovered that what the gurus were saying in India about the reality, about matter, about the constitution of the universe, etc., were the same thing they are getting through the physics. So we get those conclusions, but the Hindus are talking about it for 5,000 years. From a different path, they got to some point. So let's give them more credit.
Definitely.
So then they start to get the gurus in America, you know, calling the gurus and the gurus mania, and everybody was in Hindu philosophy or Taoism or whatever, and they really opened. It was very nice, because I remember 10 years before that, I was very close, very close. Nobody knows even what was the word reincarnation. No, nobody. If I say, do you believe in reincarnation? Reincarnation?
What the heck is that?
Yeah.